Hey, this is the Shredded Scholar, Dr. V. Louis Venner's back here at the site of the Palmetto Inn. I was so gratified by the response I got to my last video about demolition by neglect, using this site as an example. And honestly, I didn't have any intention to come back to this site, certainly not quite so soon, but I saw something in the Florence Morning News this morning that just bugged the heck out of me. And so here I am again on the backside of the motel, where you can see one of the wings. The demolition is still ongoing, and I'm actually standing in Levy Park. I'll just turn around a little bit so you can see some of Levy Park. There's basketball, football, baseball fields, picnic shelters, fine city park. And back to the matter at hand. I wanna read you just a little bit of this article. I tell my students all the time when we're looking at primary historical documents that you're looking not just at what people say, whether it's advertisements, political speech, what have you, but you also got to read between the lines, and sometimes what goes unsaid is the most important stuff. Listen to this. The headline: Florence finalizes old Palmetto Inn annexation. The city had to annex this property into the city limits in order to be able to pursue the work here. And so here's where I'll start. Demolition of the abandoned motel continues. Once it is finished and remediation complete, the property will become part of Levy Park, where I'm standing right now. It will add approximately 3.15 acres to Levy Park, which will grow to approximately 16.75 acres. The property is located across from McLeod Health Complex. The old Palmetto Inn is also on the eastern gateway into the city of Florence. The old Palmetto Inn closed more than 20 years ago. Vandals stripped the building of its copper pipes. The buildings became covered in graffiti over the years. The city of Florence has been working to get rid of the blighted motel since 2014. A partnership with the city of Florence, Florence County, the Doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation, and McLeod Health made the acquisition, demolition, and remediation of the property possible. Earlier this year, the Doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation and McLeod Health contributed $358,000 each toward the purchase of the property. The county and city have committed additional money to demolish the motel, remediate the land, and maintain it for future generations. And here's the part that got me a little upset. Levy Park is named in honor of Dr. J.R. Levy, a contemporary of Dr. F.H. McLeod, who founded McLeod Health. Levy was a leader in the city's healthcare community. He died in 1936. So let me be clear. I don't think there's anything that I've read so far that is not true. But the stuff that's left out is so important that the overall effect of the article is highly misleading, to say the least. So a few things that stand out to me. The buildings became covered in graffiti over the years. As I understand it, the previous owner of the property, as well as the city, cooperated with a local art collective so that graffiti-style art could be put up on the walls facing Palmetto Street. It's yes, it did become covered in graffiti over the years, but the way that's phrased is entirely misleading. Earlier this year, the Doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation and McLeod Health contributed this much money. The county and the city have committed to demolishing, remediating, and maintaining the land for future generations. So these are the parties that have put money into this. Been working on this apparently since 2014. So there's money to purchase the property. There's money to demolish the buildings. There's money to remediate. There is money to transform this into more park and to maintain it for future generations. What's not said is, this is apparently the only thing that these parties could think of to do with this property. If there's money to do this, if there's money to tear down and place a park on the property, then why was there not money? Why was there not imagination? Why was there not vision to do something else with the property? Again, I don't have anything against parks and green spaces. God knows we need more of them. But that's not the only possible solution to a property like this. But here's why I came back. Levy Park is named in honor of Dr. J.R. Levy, a contemporary of Dr. F.H. McLeod, who founded McLeod Health. Levy was a leader in the city's healthcare community. He died in 1936. What is not said in those few lines is that Dr. J.R. Levy, for whom this park is named, was an African-American physician in Florence. He was a prominent resident of the East Florence neighborhood where we are right now. He was a part of an officer in the National Medical Association. Wait, you say? No, it's called the American Medical Association. No, I spoke correctly. The National Medical Association, which still exists. It takes all of 3 minutes on Google to find, very early references to this and basic historical evidence about who Dr. Levy was. The National Medical Association, which still exists, is the alternative organization for black physicians that was founded in the days of Jim Crow, when the American Medical Association would not let them in. It is of that organization that Dr. Levy was an officer as early as 1911. So we're talking about a prominent local resident, but also a nationally prominent member of his profession. Of course it's appropriate to name Levy Park after him. But what is unsaid, in addition to the racial identity of this individual that we're discussing and the context of Jim Crow, is the even more recent history. McLeod Health, across the street, one of the partners in this current project, was responsible, as I understand it, in cooperation with a few local black power brokers who I suspect profited one way or another from the deal. McLeod Health, in cooperation with the city, acquired and bulldozed most of this neighborhood, removing hundreds, thousands of African American residents who are no longer here. There is some of the neighborhood left, some of the residences are left, but mostly East Florence is decimated in the 1970s by McLeod Health. The city's strategic plan for revitalizing this neighborhood calls for truth-telling about the history of the neighborhood. The city's strategic plan about rebuilding and revitalizing this neighborhood calls for a community history project so that we don't repeat the banalities, the misleading information that I find in this story today. This is not about me casting aspersions on that which has been done in decades past. A lot of the actors from some of the worst development decisions in our city, a lot of those people are gone. And for those who are still around, I'm not here to hurt your feelings. But we do, all of us in the city of Florence, we do deserve better. We do deserve to know the whole truth. And we need to allow the truth of our history to guide much better development decisions in the future. I'm gonna stop there. This is the Shredded Scholar, about to take a break and take some deep breaths. I'll talk to y'all later.